Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Nania Yasmin and I've created this YouTube channel as a way to document my journey living abroad in Taiwan. So for this week's video, I will be answering quite a few questions that I've been getting in regards to my job, how I started teaching English, what the process looked like, the interviews, salary, all of that good stuff. So I wanted to compile all of those questions into one video and hope that I can answer some of that for you all. So we will go ahead and jump right in. I believe that there are about three main ways of teaching that are available in Taiwan. Number one being, of course, the public school. That is where I am, and that's where my most accurate information can be given. But you also have the option to work in a bushiban, or also known as a cram school, and those are basically after school programs where the students the parents will pay for their students to go and receive additional help for their studies. And then international schools are also an option for you. I know that those are a lot more competitive, but their packages are nicely sealed with a bow, and it is very attractive for people with families or who want to teach long-term, like as a career. If you are interested in working in a bushiban, I can direct you to a recruitment agency that is a startup company I am a part of, and we are working with bushibans and cram schools in Hsinchu City, Taiwan. If you think you're interested in that or want to look more into that, I will direct you to our website. It is tzip.com. I will put that here on the screen for you, and I will also link it down in the description box. And if you are interested in teaching in international schools, I would suggest maybe joining some Facebook groups. You can try to search international schools in Taiwan. I'm sure there's a ton of Facebook groups available to you. Of course, YouTube is also helpful, or maybe just some quick Google searches can help direct you towards teaching in the international school. So again, I teach in the public school. That is basically where I will be speaking from my personal experience today. I did go through a recruitment agency. So my program is government funded, and the government works with this recruitment agency to find teachers that will work in the public schools. So I do have videos on my channel that go more in detail with my day-to-day work expectations, as well as the benefits that come with my job. But just to briefly go over them again, I work in the public school, so that is Monday through Friday, 7:45 to 3:45 p.m. They do give you a housing stipend. They also give me the flight reimbursement. I get amazing health insurance. You get amazing vacation. You get all national holidays off. They are paid. You get summer vacations, which are 8 weeks, and you get Chinese New Year off. That is anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. And then you also get the 14 days that you can take off throughout the year, you know, in case you're sick or you just need to leave early or come in late. You can take up to 14 days off. So the benefit package is nice, especially for someone like me. Personally, I didn't have any experience. I wasn't sure if this was going to work out for me, and I kind of just wanted to try this out. So I felt like this was a good start. So we'll start with the qualifications that are necessary for the government funded program. Number one, they are requiring and looking for native English speakers. This includes countries like the USA, South Africa, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc. Also, a bachelor's degree or higher is also required. And in addition to that, you will also need a teaching license or a substitute teaching license. And number four is a valid criminal background check within the last 6 months. So I know a few of you have reached out to me letting me know that you're in the process of receiving your TESOL and your TEFL certificates. Those unfortunately are not they're not seen as valid license through the government in order to work at the public schools. But if you are not a native English speaker, or if you do not have a bachelor's degree or a teaching license or a substitute teaching license, you could look into different language institutes and centers like the Bushibans and cram schools that I mentioned previously. So if you do meet those requirements, then you can go ahead and apply. You can go ahead and look for teaching positions in the public schools. In regards to my experience personally, I was referred to this agency through another young lady, so we were communicating back and forth through email. Once we confirmed that I met those requirements, I sent over, I believe, my resume, and she put me in touch with one of the coordinators that work with the agency. And yeah, they will schedule you a Skype interview. This was really informal compared to how getting a job in America goes. So the Skype interview was a breeze. It wasn't anything too scary. They asked me a few questions, and as far as I remember, that was it. From there, the agency will take your information and your interview, and they will send it out to schools. If a school selects you or they are interested in you, they will type up the contract for you and they will send it to you, and you can either accept or decline the offer. The turnaround time was pretty quick. They emailed me an offer from 2 schools that were interested in me. I went through the contract and I accepted. And we were able to decide that I would start at the beginning of the 2nd semester, which was after Chinese New Year. Once they sent me my contracts and I decided that I was going to go through with everything, they sent over some housing options for me to choose from. I personally was excited, and I had so much time on my hands. I found my house through a Facebook group. Again, I've mentioned this before. Facebook groups were my best friend. They give actual advice, like actual personal experiences from people that have gone through the process. So those were #1 for me. But the coordinator that was working with me through the agency, they will, ask you some questions in regards to your budget and what you're looking for, and they will try to accommodate you. My program gives me a housing stipend every month. This is paid with my salary, so I get paid 1 time a month. It is very different from the US. It is not weekly or bi-weekly. It is once a month. I get my salary and my housing stipend together. My apartment costs a lot more than the housing stipend that they afford me. So depending on what you're looking for, this may or may not help you. I want to go back to being paid once a month. I do recommend, once you accept a job and you know when you're coming, I highly recommend or advise having some sort of savings available to you. And depending on when you start, it could be a while before you receive a full month salary. Also, with your apartments, you will need to pay first month's rent. You will need to pay a deposit. You may or may not need to pay for things like internet, your phone, getting a SIM card. Luckily in Taiwan, your dollar will go far, so you don't need a ton of money, but you will need some savings to get you by for at least, I'd say, you want to have enough cushion to make it at least 4 to 6 weeks. The salary for first year teachers, I got paid about $2,200 to $2,300 a month, and that again is before taxes. So your first 6 months in Taiwan, you will get taxed at 18%, and then after you've been here for 180 days consecutively, you can opt to get taxed at 5%. Then the next year you can file your taxes, and you will pretty much get all of that money back. I got a nice, I mentioned this in my other video, I got a nice tax return this year that I was not expecting. So they do take your taxes every month, but it's kind of like a savings account that you don't have to worry about, because once you file for your taxes the next year after that, you will get a nice chunk of change back. They will also assist you with your work permit. That is what is required for you to be eligible for your visa, which is what allows you to work here legally as well as stay here legally. You do have to pay for your work permit. I believe it was around $150, but they will do all of the paperwork for you, which is a huge relief because everything is in a different language. They did give me a flight reimbursement, so I booked my flight, I paid out of pocket, but once I began working in the school and I successfully went through my 90-day probationary period, they did refund me for my ticket, which was amazing because I needed that money at that point. When I got here, when I arrived in Taiwan, they scheduled an airport pickup for me. So there was someone at the airport waiting for me to bring me to my city that I live in. Your first day here, you'll meet up with the coordinator. They will take you to your school so that they can introduce you to the English department, and you know where you know where you will be working and you know where to go on your first day. Depending on if you've chosen an apartment or not, they will take you to your apartment. They will help you, you know, again, talk to your landlord, because sometimes the landlords will speak English, sometimes they won't. And so yeah, I think that's about it. So I would just advise coming with an open mind. Although my agency was there to help me with things like the work permit and housing, they also helped me set up like my bank account and things like that. You still are on your own here. So just keep that in mind. They're not gonna hold your hand the entire process. So there were a lot of things that I had to figure out on my own, which it makes sense, but I wasn't necessarily expecting before I got here. So yeah, after that first day, I was on my own, and but I made it through. I look back and I'm like, I'm happy with my decision. I'm so glad that I moved forward with this process. So yeah, there are a lot of options available to you depending on your situation. Things like benefits, salary, housing, and all of that will be different for everyone. I encourage you to look at what's out there. I'm sure there's something that will fit your situation. I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel and for all of the engagement that I've been receiving, the feedback, the comments, the likes, the shares. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time.